This conference will now be recorded.
Yep, so we have here our login screen.
Yes, sir.
So here what I'm trying to do is like I'm trying to make this IP uh, in the same range of this IP. You're able to see 192.168.1.89 and here it's showing 10.0.2.2. So I'm just trying to make both the IPs in the same range so that I should be able to connect this machine from this machine. There are two machines, there are two servers. Or let me turn on another server itself and I will try to connect one server from another server. CentOS GUI. Let me see what it's giving. Mm-mm. So here also ISO has already been attached. So I was trying to deattach it, and meanwhile it has grabbed my mouse and keyboard, so I was not able to do. So how to ungrab is by using right control key. If you press one time right control, it will release your mouse from here. 10.02.15, and this has also got 10.02.15 seems. Hmm. So in that case, I need to change the network settings from NAT to host only adapter. This also I need to change to host only adapter. Hmm. So we can see that 192.168.56.5 it has got one in the below one has got 192.168.56.8. So let me ping one machine from another 192.168.56.8. So I'm trying to ping and I'm able to ping. Ping is a command tells us which tells us about the connectivity in between two systems, whether you are able to communicate with two system or not. Well, I mean the system is able to reply ping packets or not. So ping is a command which sends some packets and expects some reply in return, and through that it checks whether system is able to reply or not. If system is able to reply, we can say that yes, system is alive. And if ping packets are not reaching to you, I mean to say if you're trying to ping this and if this is not reachable, I mean you're not getting this something like this reply, that 64 bytes from this ICMP sequence 1 TTL64 time this much second. So it means if you're not getting this, so either maybe your system is not reachable, or that system whatever you are expecting some reply, that system itself is not willing to give a reply to you. It means like what are the packet you are trying to send and you are expecting, that is getting dropped by this system. Just give me a second. So you have one system here, you have another system here. Whenever you send ping command, it sends ICMP packet. Packet name is ICMP. It sends ICMP packet and expect the reply same from this computer. And the time which your packet is alive is called TTL time, and it takes some time to come back reply. So that time you can see that here. This is the time. First it took more time, 3.15 millisecond, and then 0.930 ms it took. So it means like this system is able to respond. First it took some time to respond, after that it just responded so quickly. So that's what the time. So if let's say if this time is more, so you can say that your internet connectivity is very slow. If this time is very much high, sorry, vice versa, I can say. If this time is very much,
Sorry, you are in mute.
so since when I was in mute, please let me know so that I can repeat that part again. You guys are able to hear me now?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So till which part you have heard? So that I can repeat, guys. I cannot tell.
Sir, second time 0.93 millisecond.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So this is the time for coming the packet, and let's say if this time is more, it means like your internet or your connectivity with this system from 56.2, sorry, 56.5, and this is 56.8. If this time is more, whatever we have seen, it means the connectivity in between these two systems is going to be slow down, and if the time is less, it means the connectivity is fast. or it's normal or fast. You can say that. If this is coming like this, it can be less than this also. So this is what the ping, this is what the ping packets, and there may be one case where you are sending the packet, system is alive, you know system is alive, but you will not get reply from the system because this system is explicitly dropping the ping packets. This system might have set up a rule in firewall that hey, any system is asking you a reply from ICMP packets, please drop, please drop them, don't reply. So whenever somebody is trying to ping, it will drop that packet. It will never reply. So reply will never come, and hence you will never get to see that whether the system is up or not because it's explicitly doing that. So that is one thing. So let's see here. This is one system, and this is another system. The black screen is another system. So I will do an SSH. SSH is a utility called secure shell which uses encrypted connection to connect in between one system and another system. So this is one system, this is another system. IP of this system is 56.2, sorry, 5. This is the IP of this system, and the IP of this system is 56.8. You can see that. So if I want to connect this system from this system, then I need to give SSH a space username. Username is I can give root at the rate and the IP address 192.168.56.8. As soon as I press enter, it will ask that I want to add the fingerprint, I want to add the keys or not. I have said yes. Then it's asking me for the password of this system, another system. So I will type the password and press enter. Now I am able to log in into this system. Root at the rate localhost you are seeing. So this system, how do I verify that I am into this system? Let me check the IP now. Now it's showing 192.168.56.8, and which is the IP of this system. Which is the IP of this system. So we are able to connect one system. We are able to connect from one system to another system. So what I'm trying to explain here is, let's say you have a running VirtualBox. You have a VirtualBox running. So let's say I have this system as Ubuntu, correct? So instead of Ubuntu, you will have this is Ubuntu for me. So for you, you will have your machine as Windows. Most of them will have Windows. And after having this, you are going to install this VirtualBox. Inside VirtualBox, you are going to install one operating system, CentOS 1, let's say. So you have logged in here. And if you want to access this from your desktop, you have logged in, but since you are not very much comfortable by the scrolling and all, let's say if you are adding anything, it's just going to go away and go up and you will not be able to see. So to resolve that problem, you can look at the IP and you can go to your Windows system. Let's say this is your Windows system. Here you can install a software called Putty. I have googled it, putty download. I will go to the download page, and from here you can just download the putty here like this. Not like that, but like this. Click on this first one, it's downloads. It's downloaded. After downloading, you can extract, you can open. After opening, you can give the IP of this system. You can give the IP of the system to which you wanted to connect, 192.168.56.8, and you can click on OK and it will connect. So rather than being here, you are accessing this system from report from your Windows system. And that is what the most of the cases you will also do in your office. So when you go to office, your server is going to sit somewhere. This, let's say this is the server. So the server is going to sit somewhere in the lab. You will not have physical access to this. And you will be given just an IP address of this system. So what you will do, this is your Windows system you're working on. This is your Windows system you're working on. And this is your server. This is, let's say, CentOS server or Red Hat rhel server. You have this. So this is sitting somewhere in lab and you don't have access to this. So what you are required to do is you are required to install putty in your laptop and give the IP 192.168.56.8 in this putty, and then click on OK, so that through putty you have access to this. When you have access to this, it means done. Whatever you want you can do. So let's say we are here and I wanted to reboot this server. I wanted to reboot this server. So I have logged in using SSH. Here I am using terminal because terminal itself is provides SSH for me. But in your case, if you are using Windows, you will not have terminal. So you are required to install putty. So for rebooting this machine, I'm going to run reboot command after logging in through SSH into this machine. You can see that this machine got rebooted. Even though I'm trying to reboot from this machine, I'm giving a reboot command from here, and you can see that connection is closed. So system reboots, obviously connection is going to be get disconnected because system is going to reboot. So it has thrown me out. So now we are coming to user. What is user? Why we require user? What is group? Why we require groups? And how to add user, how to add groups, and how to assign users to different groups. So user basically is user basically is a user or a identity or a person in a system who can log in into the system, and that identity can start working in the system, and this particular user will have its own space given in the system to perform some of the predefined task, or maybe some of the predefined task according to the predefined rule. So the meaning of that is we'll create a user, we'll give the normal permissions to this user so that this user, let's name it as X. So user X should not be able to perform all the admin permission, should not able to perform all the admin work. So we will not give this X user as an admin. So we'll keep this user as a normal user only. So what is the command for user creation? Okay, before getting to know what is the command of creating user, we need to know that what is the motive of user, why we need user, why we need a user creation of user command, because that's a question has been asked to one of the person in interview, during interview. So this kind of theory question also can be asked. So you need to understand the motive, you need to understand why we are doing, and then obviously you need to understand what we are doing and what will happen after doing that. So let's say if one user is working here, user X is working here, and he has made some changes, and user Y is coming, but he don't have any user. Then he is also trying to log in using user X credential. He has logged in and he is doing some work. And after some point of time, this user X is coming and checking whatever the work he has done, it has been got modified. But he don't know who modified, because whenever he checks the logs, this X person checks the logs, it's showing that it's modified by me, because this is what the user's credential for X, and which has been used by any other person. So you will never know what is happening, where is happening, and let's say X is coming and doing some work, and Y is coming doing the same work in the same direction. You will not be able to identify that. Let's say v1 dot text and v2 dot text. You have two files. Both has been created by root only. Sorry, not root, by user X only. You will not be able to know that this v1 and v2 has been created by only X or only Y, or one has been created by X or another one is created by Y. You will never be able to know. So to separate the work and to give individual space to work and to provide set of policies to one person and different than another person, we have created a user. So this is one example. Another example, you can quote that, let's say X is a normal user and Y is an admin. X is, let's say it's a student. X is a student and Y is admin. So X is coming, logging in, and Y is coming, he doesn't have any account and logging in through X only. So since X is a student, X will not have admin privilege. So definitely this will not be, admin will not be able to do all the works of a student. Sorry, I'm wrong. So definitely admin will not be able to perform all the admin tasks which admin is supposed to do, because the X user is not having any admin privileges. This is the account with basic functionalities, basic user functionalities. So to separate set of policies, also we are required to use different, we are required to create different users so that you can add admins, you can make Y as admin. Let's say you have P user, you can create admin, Q user, you need to create admin. So all those users you have created admins, P, Q, R, S. Let's say you have all these users, you have created admins. But you have created admins, you have given set of permissions, set of folders, and you wanted to assign that since you have so many users and which may or may have different policies implemented in place, and the normal user will have different policies to be in place. So we wanted to separate both of them, and that's why we need user. So having said that, let's say uh, you have another set of users which are teachers. Okay, teachers. So let's name them A, B, C, D. This also can be basic account. This will not be admin. So this is all basic accounts. But what is the difference? What could be the difference between student and teachers? Student account will have a separate set of folders access. Let's say it has a student will have access to science folder. Student will have access to maths folder. Student will have access to assignment folder. Okay. And coming to teachers, teachers will have all this access, and on the top of this they may have access, teacher may have access to exam folder also. Teachers may have full access to science and maths folder, but student may have only read access to science and maths. Student may not have permission to write in this two folder. So certain kind of policies has already been implemented. So if you, let's say if you have next year, if you are going to admit, let's say more thousand number of student, so all those policies you are required to implement for each and every student, correct? So that's gonna be a tedious task. And let's say if you are admitting new teacher, there also you are required to do the same thing. So to avoid all those things, what you will do, you will create a group named student. Somebody is there, can go on mute. Anant Kumar, please be on mute. Yep. So to avoid all those work, we can name a group. We can create a group and we can name that group as a student. And we can create a group. We can name that as a teacher. And whenever we create a new user, just add that to this group. Just add that to this group so that what are all policies, what all permission this group is having will automatically be get inherited by other users of the same group. So you understood that what why we require groups, why we require an individual user. Any doubts here?
No, sir.
Okay, let's move ahead. So for creating a new user, you can you will have to command add user, then test1 user has been added. You can see in home folder test1 directory has been created, but you will not be able to log in using test user with test1 because the password is still invalid. You don't know what is the password. So to change the password, there is a command passwd space test1. When you give, it will ask for the new password. So these are all admin privileges work. You are required to be admin to do all this work. Normal user cannot perform all this work, whatever I am doing. Adding user is an admin task. Resetting its password, it's admin task. But yes, if you have logged in using test user, you can reset your password, not others' password. So only root can reset others' password. You can see that I am root. I can reset others' password. And if a normal user wanted to reset others users' password, then he has to be an admin. I will tell you about that. So I'm going to give new password given. So new password is updated for new user. So let's log in through that user. So there are two ways to log in. I will exit from here. I will exit from this terminal. I will log in through test1 and then password. So you can see that I have logged in through test1 user. Another way to log in is I have already been logged in into root. After that, after logging in through root or any another user, if you want to log in with or if you want to switch your user, then the command here is su switch user. So which user I wanted to switch? I wanted to switch to test1. You can see that I'm able to switch to test1. So if I do pwd, it will show me I am into /root. So let's say if I do ls here, it says permission denied because this is the folder which is allowed to get access only by the root user, and I am a test user, so I cannot access this directory. So what directory I can access? I can access the directory of my home user. So what is the home user directory? /home/test1. You can see that I will not have permission to access test also. Test directory is also permission denied. Test is also not accessible. So we know how to add user. Test1. Sorry, user add. We know how to add user. Userdel is the command to delete a user. Let's say I am into test1 user and I wanted to delete test. Okay, you can see that test is a normal user. Sorry, test1. I have logged in into test1 and test1 is a normal user. It's not an admin, and I'm trying to execute some admin privileges task. That is what it shows. That permission denied. I cannot do because I'm not permitted to do that. So I need to switch to another user again, root user, and then give the password and then perform the work. Userdel test. So user has been deleted. Now if I will try to switch to test user, it says test does not exist. Okay, so if you want to add user, you can add like this, test, and you can see the password. our test is new password. Now if I want to switch test user, you can see that it is giving me, but with permission denied, because slash home class test dot bash rc is why this problem is coming, because whenever I have removed the test user, whenever I have removed the test, it did not deleted the test user files. And now whenever I have created a test user, it's thinking that previous user is different and now this user is different, and that's why it's giving me the permission denied error. So there are two ways to fix it. pwd, I'm into root, rm-rf. So you just delete the user del test. So it says that user test is used by process. So I'll exit from this user. Now I will use user del. I have removed the user now. Now I will remove the files also. Test. I will see that there is no file, and no, there is no file named as test. Now I will create once again the user add test. Mailbox is fixed. Okay, fine, no problem. You can see that test has been created. Now let me switch to test. It should not throw now. You can see that I'm able to switch to user. Previously, as soon as I have switched, it was throwing this permission denied error. Now I have switched and it is not showing anything because I have deleted, and I am making it clear that whenever I create a user, the system has to create the user space files or the home folders, so that I do not face. The another solution can be, I'm not sure if that's gonna work or not. Let's give a try. So let me delete this user. Exit. Let me delete this user test, but home folder is still there. Yeah, it's still there. Now create a user add, and now create a password. This is done. After that, when I will log in, it should show that same error. It's not showing. So maybe this time it would have corrected whatever it was doing previously. So what I was thinking to change the users, change the ownership and the permission. So that for doing that, there is a command ch own and then test colon test. This is the users field. This is the owner field. So I'm changing the user and the owner also, sorry, owner to user, and this group I'm changing. So after changing, we should not have seen that error. So this is another way to fix that problem. Anyways, that problem is not coming, so just leave that issue for now. So we have created a user. Whenever you create a user, cat etc psswd, you will have a file cat etc slash psswd where you will have user id, group id, and this is the user. and this is the home folder for that. And this information source is whenever you are going to log in using test, this is what you are going to get, /bin/bash. Okay, so let's say this here at some places you might be able to see that no login. No login means no login. So if I am able to give, instead of bash, if I'm going to give no login, bash means like terminal, whatever we are getting. So the meaning of this argument is whenever you are going to log in as test user, it's going to give you the terminal. This is what we get. No login means whenever you log in through test, sorry, cron user, you will get no login. You will not be allowed to log in actually. So let's see what happens if I modify this as no login. vi etc psswd. I've gone into vi. I'm in command mode. Let me go in insert mode. I am into insert mode now. Bin no login, and I have to exit and close. Yep. Now I'm going to exit from the terminal. We have modified for test, correct? I'm going to exit from the terminal. Everything I've exited. Now I'm trying to log in through test. Password, I know I'm giving the password. Oh, what happened? I have given the correct password. Username, then correct password. So this is what the use of no login. You will not be able to log in at all. So it gives you again username. Okay. So it's again exit. It's exiting you after logging in. And since it's exiting you, you are required to again log in. So ultimately you will end up in being outside of the system itself. You will never be able to log in successfully and to do work. So this is the one way of locking a user actually. We'll discuss how to lock user from another methods as well, okay, in future. Now we will see that switch test is a normal user which does not have permission to anything. So there is something called sudo. So let's say there are some things which is normal user can perform only some set of works. Normal user, and this many set of works can be performed by admin. Okay. So let's say if you are a normal user and admin, or I can say here as root. So if you wanted, there is a requirement where you wanted to give normal user admins permissions. You wanted to create normal user as an admin, or you wanted to give normal user as an admin. So what you are required to do, you are required to use sudo command to with this username, whatever you are having, normal username, along with sudo command and whatever admin commands you wanted to run. So this is how you can achieve this is how you can execute admin commands being in a normal user itself. So sudo gives you elevated privileges to execute admin commands. If you do not include sudo and you will try to execute admin commands, it will throw that you don't have permission. Okay. So for sudo also there is a group. We call it as a wheel group. Wheel. Wheel group is a group of sudo. We say that. So if you wanted to add this new user, let's say X or let's say test itself. We have created a user called test. You wanted to add this test user into sudo, then, or sorry, you wanted to give this test user an admin privileges so that it can execute admin commands through sudo. So in that case you are required to add this test user in wheel group. Wheel is a group, it's not a user. Okay, so now you need to add this test user in a group. Now how to check whether a user is assigned to wheel group or not? So you are required to log in using that user. So I have logged in here with that user, you can see that. And after that, you can type a command called groups and you will be able to see that. Only test is the group which is assigned. So what we can see that whenever you create a user, the group of the same name has also been created. So if I'm creating a user called test, so test group is also being created. You can see that this is one. So how to add a user into another group? So for that, user mod is command. Hyphen a is I wanted to append some rules. Hyphen g is I wanted to add a group. What is the username? Test. But again, this is an admin command and I'm trying to execute using normal user. So that is not possible. I need to exit. I need to be a root user to execute this command. User mode hyphen a space hyphen g space wheel space test. Now if I want to check which are all groups this test user belongs to, then go to test user, check groups. You can see that now it has test user has been added to two groups, test which is by default its own group itself, and it has been added to wheel group also. Now we have seen some of the admin commands. Sudo. Okay, so let's try to execute. Change the password. PSSWD test1. You can see that only root can specify username. I cannot specify username because I don't have permission for that, for this. ls slash home slash test. Sorry, test I will have. You can see that it says permission denied. ls space slash root slash. You can see that permission denied. Because for this definitely I cannot have access. For this also, since I'm a test user, I cannot have access. Only admin can access all the folders. So how to execute an admin command? So this is the previous command. I'm just going to add sudo and then press enter. It's going to ask for the password. What was my password? I will enter the password and you can see that it did not throw any error. It did not throw any error after asking for the password. So whenever you type password once, your password used to be get saved locally for a session for a particular amount of time. I don't remember what was the time, either it's 5 minutes, 3 minutes, or 2 minutes. I don't remember that, but for a duration it has been saved. When you come back after some point of time, and if you once again giving sudo, it will ask you for the password. But if I'm since I've given password once, and if I'm going to execute several sudo commands, it will not ask for the password. You can see that sudo ls/home/test1. Even though I'm in test user, I'm able to execute this command without any error because I have sudo privileges. So adding in a wheel group is one way of giving sudo permission. There is another way to give sudo permissions. So let me add user add test2. You can see that it's permission denied because user add is an admin command. So just now, a few minutes back, we have seen that adding a sudo can give us an admin privileges to execute the admin commands. So I'm adding sudo and will try to execute the admin commands. Oh, you can see that it executed without any error. Previously, it was giving error. So let's see if directory has been created or not. Yes, directory is created. Now test2, switch to test2. It's asking for the password. So we haven't set the password yet. So we will not be able to give the password for test2. Now what to do? Change the password by using psswd user test2. Only admin can do. So let's me add sudo and change the password. Password got changed. Now switch to user test2. Now you can see that I am into user test2 here. But again, I don't have any sudo permissions here. I'm not part of wheel group and I'm not part of any admin. So definitely I will not be able to run admin commands. You can see that this is the error.
Sir,
Yes,
if admin only access the all the data, if admin lost the data means what will we do, sir?
admin lost the data.
Uh,
Then try to recover the data. That's it.
okay, sir.
Admin is the creator, and if you're asking creator do the mishap, then things are gone. Okay, admin is not supposed to do such things. That's why a normal person has not been given a designation called admin, and that is why you guys are also learning all these things, how things works, and what is your responsibilities, what is your role, what is the normal user role, what you should be giving a permission. All these things you are understanding because all these things normal user will not know. Normal user will not never do those things. Okay. So yes,
Okay, sir.
yeah. So one way we have seen that uh, you can change, you can get the sudo permission by adding a user into wheel group. Now we are going to see the another way of doing the same thing. How to give sudo permission of user test2. So you can see that we don't have permission. So let's go back to admin user. Now we have admin, test is also admin, root is also admin. So you can switch to any. Actually, root is root. Root is the super user actually, and test is normal user. But test has sudo permissions. Did I give the wrong password? Yep, I gave the wrong password by mistake. So test is a sudo user, so I will be able to execute admin commands. So let me execute admin command and sudo vi etc slash sudoers. So this is the file name which I need to edit to add a user, which user? Test2 user into sudo list, sudo group, or to give the sudo permission to this test2 user. I need to edit this file. So I have opened it file. You are required to find out a line where it says all equals to all, and this is the permission. Allow root to run any commands anywhere. So test2 all, whatever is there above, you are required to type the same thing here. This is the root user, this is the test2 user. Your requirement is to add test2 in sudo permissions list. So the test2 user also can execute the sudo commands. So this is done. This is what I'm required to write it down, and I will close and I will exit from the vi editor. So it complains that I cannot because it's a read-only file. So I need to add the exclamation marks. Now you can see that it's written. Okay. So this is one thing. Now let's test whether the test2 user has got the admin privileges or not. Because before this, test2 was not having. So let's switch back to test2 user login. After that, we can give ls slash root slash, okay, permission denied. Let me add sudo. Okay, yes, we have a privilege to run sudo. If any normal user is trying to add sudo, and if that user does not have sudo permission, then it will throw an error. Okay, so for that experiment, let me remove this sudo users. Let me remove this test2 from the sudo list or the sudoers file and see. Okay, I've logged in through. I've logged in through test2 user. From here, if I want to execute some commands, last time we have executed this command, and this without any error, it shows us an file, anaconda.cfg, I think. Now this time we have removed the sudo permissions from this test2 user because we have edited the file /etc/sudoers. Let's see what error it's throwing. You can see that test2 is not in sudoers file. This incident will be reported. So it means like a normal user who does not have any access as an sudo or admin is trying to execute some commands which belongs to or which only admin can perform. So those things a normal user should not do. So we have seen how to add a user in sudo group, sudo user, and we have seen that two ways how to do that work, using a file and using a group as well. Okay, now come back to the permissions. What is called file permissions? Just give me a second. I've created a directory called testing. Okay. So let me move this testing here. I cannot write in root directory. I don't have permission. Okay. Fine. What I was trying to explain here is testing is a folder by using D. Here we have 3 bits: read, write, x, read, and then write is dash. I mean, we don't have permission to write, and then x. So it means like first 3 was for normal user, first 3 was for second 3 for group, for the entire group this user belongs to. Third is for the others. What others does have permission to this group? Okay. So let's say if I'm logging through test user, and if I will try to access this, I should not be able to. Chmod, sorry, not chmod, su space test 2, sorry, test 1, go into that and then try to access testing. Permission denied. Now let me change the permission. So I want to change the permission that this permission does have access to execute read write execute also from other users also, because test2 is another user. Test2 is coming for test. There are 2 users, test1 and test2. Test1 is having its group called test1. Test2 is having its group called test2. So this has read write execute. This has read write execute, but others user is test2, have only read and execute. It does not have permission to write. So how you can give a folder full permission? I mean, read, write, execute, and then read, write, execute. This we call it as a full permission. So how you can give full permission to every one of that particular folder? Okay, let's create a new folder. Let's switch to root. Okay, and let's create a directory in slash root, not slash root, slash here itself, new dir ls, sorry, ls slash, we can see new dir anywhere. Yeah, new dir, we can see that here, ls hyphen al slash new dir. What is the permission for that? So for new dir, where it is, this is a new dir, and we have permission read, write, execute, and then only read by the other group members. Write we don't have, only execute, and only read and execute. So how to give full permission to this directory? We can give full permission by giving chmod space 777 space new dir. Now let's see the permission has been modified or not. New dir. You can see that this time read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. Previously what it was read, write, execute, read dash execute, read dash execute. So it has got full permission. Now we'll understand what is called 777. So does everybody know what is called binary to decimal conversion? So let's say you have three numbers. In binary we have only 1 and 0. Okay, so let's say you have 111 in binary. So what will be the decimal value of it? The decimal value would be 4 plus 2 plus 1, 7. 7 is the decimal value of this. So whatever places we have read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. This is having three places. It's having three binary numbers. Either you can give 1 or 0. At this place also you can give 1 or 0. At this place also you can give 1 or 0. Same thing for this, same thing for this. So depending on your 1 or 0, 1 or 0, 1 or 0, you are going to execute, you are going to calculate the sum of that, and the same permission is going to be get applied here. Let's say, let's take another example, read, write, execute. So I don't want to give execute permission. So the meaning of that is I wanted to give read, write only. So read 1, write 1, execute 0. I don't want to give execute. So what will be the sum of this 1, 1 and 0 is going to be 4 plus 2 is 6. So I'm going to give, let's say if I want to give read, write here also, read, write here also, read, write here also. So what I need to give 6, 6, 6. And in any case, let's say if you want to give just read, write here, read, write here, sorry, read, write, execute here, read, write, execute here, and you wanted to give this other users only read and write permission, not execute. So what you can do, 776. Okay, with this command, let me see, 776. You can see that this is a new dir. You can see that execute has been removed here. Previously we were having execute. Now let's C666, sorry, 666. What will happen? We'll get read write, read write, read write. That's it. So we'll get read write dash, read write dash, read write dash. That's it. Okay. So this is what the permission, uh, how permission used to be get changed from for a folder or for a file. Any doubt so far?
No, sir.
Mm-hmm.
No, sir.
Okay. We have created user. Let me see. Okay. There is one more command called group add. Group add is a command through which you can add a group. And let's say I wanted to add user mode hyphen a hyphen g space hyphen a space hyphen g space student. Which user I wanted to add? I wanted to add test. I wanted to add test user into student group. And here we have seen creating user, adding user to that, sorry, creating group and then adding user to that group. And now we'll see whether it has added to a group or not. Sorry, not cd. Switch user test and then groups. You can see that we have added long back wheel user. We have added a long back this test user in wheel group also. And now you can see that it's part of student also now. So similarly, you can create n number of user. You can add n number of users into this student group. Okay. And changing permission through the characters also is here. Chmod is a command. We have seen 777 or 666 or the numbers we have seen. So let's see what is the permission here for us. Not root new dir. Uh-oh, we don't have permission to access. So we can see that we have read write, read write, read write. No execute permission in new dir. So let's say if you wanted to add execute permission here for your own group, sorry, for your own user itself, then chmod plus x and then new dir. Plus x is adding, plus means adding a permission, x means adding what permission, and then where you wanted to add. I wanted to add in new dir. Let's see. New dir was having read write, read write, read write. Now what it is having? Read write execute. Read write execute, read write execute. It has changed to everywhere, which is not appreciable. Okay, so we can see that minus R is going to remove the read permission from from all the bits, and write is going to plus R will add the read permission to all the bits. In UDIR you can see that only write execute, write execute, write execute. If you want to read anything from here, you will not be able to do that. Okay, one more extra thing I wanted to tell that, let's say if you wanted to go inside the directory and you don't have execute permission, then definitely you will not be able to go inside the directory. For that, you are required to have execute permission. Then only you will be able to go inside that directory. So let me add the, sorry. Yes, we have read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. So this is about user group, creating user, creating group, adding user into a specific group, and changing permissions of a file, changing permission of a directory. And you guys are required to, okay, I have not submitted the assignment. I have not given the assignment as well to anybody. Hopefully I will, let's see, I'm able to do that by today or not. Let's see. So I will try to send the assignment today also. And in assignment, I will tell what are all assignments you need to do, but there will be one question. I'm stating it right away, what that question will be. So you guys are required to create a directory. Let's say new dir1. Inside this directory, you may have three directories: dir1, dir2, dir3. In each directory, you will have two files. Let's say file1, file2, file1, file2, file1, file2. How to create a file? Empty file I have told. If I have not told, let me say it right away. I can go into new directory and then I can touch file1 and you can see that we have a file. You can open that file using text via editor. You can edit this file and then close it. You have a file. You want to see the content of this file one, you can see the content of this file one. So how to create an empty file is by touch. So you are going to create these files f1, f2, f1, f2, f1, f2, and what you are going to do is you have to write down a command through which you can change the permission of this also by being here. So it's like you wanted to change the permissions of a directory along with its all subdirectories and files also. That's my question. You are required to change the, sorry, you are required to change the permission of this directory, and whatever permission you give, I don't care, but the same permission should apply to all the directories and all the files also, just by using one command. So you know how to change it, but you need to find out how to change for all recursively. You need to find out. Okay, this is one question, and remaining questions I will send it through the mail.
Okay.
Let me see what are the topics I do have for you guys. Hmm, okay. So there are two things I wanted to make you guys more comfortable with. Not comfortable, two new topics. One is crontab. Crontab. What is crontab? Another one is another one is repository actually. But before that, let me explain about the folders. What are all these folders are? So this folder actually belongs to binary files, like whatever executable you are having. User bin is all the users, the specific binaries you will get. Boot is the files where you will have uh, your operating system boot files. Here you can see all the boot files, and I mean, which helps operating system to boot. Dev is a file. Dev is a directory where all your device used to be get displayed. Whatever device is connected, the device files are connected. Sorry, device are connected. All those device used to be get displayed as a device files inside dev. etc. It's an etc. What all logs, what all other information you will get here itself in etc. Any configuration file, any content or any settings which you wanted to modify, you will get most of the time in etc only. This is directories for that purpose. Home is a directory for any user rather than root, which is being created, and the home space or the home directory is going to be kept inside this home directory. So we might have seen that slash home slash test, test1, test2, all these things are coming. So that's test1, test2, test3 is a home directory of individual users. And those home directories used to be get clubbed or get created automatically whenever you create a user, used to be get created inside this home folder. So home folder is a directory of the home directories of the users. Lib is 32-bit libraries, system libraries. Lib64 is 64-bit system libraries. Media is meant for media. If you are connecting any media, you can use this. MNT is for mounting the file system. Mounting the file system means, like, let's say if you have a pen drive, if you have a hard disk, if you have a CD drive, or if you have something which you wanted to access. So in that case, you can use this MNT folder to mount and use that. New DIRs we have created, we can delete whenever you want it. That's not a problem. OPT is optional, or I can say that uh, user created binaries used to be kept here. Let's say you are a user and you are creating a software, and that software needs lots of binaries to be get created, lots of database to be get created. So all those files, custom files or custom binaries is required to be kept in OTP. proc file system, this is proc folder. This folder, this here we see this as a folder, but in operating system concepts we call this we call this as a file system itself. Proc, it's a file system which gives us the information of a process and hardware as well along with the process. When you go inside this, whatever the PID number you will be able to see yesterday using the top command, all these PID numbers are assigned a folder, has been created a folder. Here you can see it's all folder. One PID will have one folder with the PID name, and whenever that process got killed, that PID got removed from this directory, and it will have all the several directories inside one directory which tells about the information of that particular process. And in proc you can see several information which tells about the hardware also, about the software also, like CPU info. CPU info will tell you all the CPU information of this system. And we have seen swap, correct? So here you may have some file called swap also, it seems. Yeah, swaps file will give you which are all active swaps are there currently in your operating system. Modules are going to give you the list of modules which are all currently available into your system. Zone info are going to give you the zone information of the memories. VM stat is going to give you the virtual memory statistics of this system. So similarly, all these things gives you lots of information of the hardware of this system and the operating system information of this system. And along with that, it's going to give you the process information also. So this is all about proc. Root is, the root is the home directory of the root user. Run is where we give or do keep commands which is required to run at some point of time. Sbin is actually, I'm not very much clear actually about run and srv. So I can see and I can tell you what is this, what all of this has been used for, but we never use it. Run an srv. Sbin is used to create again a binary. I will tell you what this arrow means. Whenever you see an arrow, what is the meaning of this? I'll tell you. So Sbin is another, you can store a binary is in this, and sys is a system file where you can get the files related to your hardware, drivers related file, or your system files which is responsible to handle your hardwares and the drivers. User is the files which users can use. Where is a place where all your logs, all your datas, extra data is used to be kept place in where. So ls user, I don't know if it has something or not. Okay, so all these things, whatever you are saying, lib64, admin, it's all inside user only. A user specific data. These are all not system specific data. These are all user specific data. Obviously, system also belongs to this. I mean, system also has to have this to work smoothly. And where is where you have log here and several other files which is required to run smooth your system. Run smooth means like I will not say configuration file because configuration file goes into etc, and the extra information which a process keeps, they keeps into log, or they keeps into where. Like crash information, if somewhere you wanted to find out, DB information, database information you wanted to find out, cache, then Kerberos. Kerberos is used to log in into your system, but currently we are not using Kerberos. So, but still, if you want, you can find out the data of those Kerberos logins data all here. You will be able to find out all the system logs inside this log, and several other things are here. TMP folder here also in Linux also we have a TMP folder. You will be able to see, you are able to see that TMP folder here. So this is about log. Sorry, this is about file system. Now coming to crontab. So crontab we can open like this via etc crontab. Crontab is a daemon which runs the job whenever you assign that particular job to run. So what is the meaning of it? Crontab, let's say you wanted a job is to run at a particular time in future. You wanted to schedule a job. So for that you can use crontab. So what is the date currently? Date. So the date and time you can get to know by the command called date. So the current date is 23, sorry, current time is 23:17:45 because we are in EEG, not in IST. 23:17:45 minutes. Sorry, 45 seconds. 23:18 now. And I wanted here to execute a command called reboot at every minute whenever minute changes, every hour whenever hour changes, and every day, every month, every day of week. It has to be performed by the root user. What is the command I wanted to reboot? If I do like this, it's going to reboot my system each and every time. So what is the meaning of a star here? A star means every. If I'm giving star, it means I want to execute to whatever the values is between 0 to 9. For 0 also, this command will get executed. For 1 also, it will get executed 2 minute also, 3 minute also, 4 minute also, 5 minute also. Till 59 minutes, it is going to execute this command. And if you want to execute this command at a specific time, what was the command? I forgot that. Sorry, not command. What was the time? It was 18 minutes, 19 minutes, let's say 20 minutes. And what was the hour? I don't remember. So it's not giving me that. Let me run the date command. 23:19. So 23 at 23:19 or 20, I wanted to execute this command reboot. Oh, the 20 has gone. So that, I mean, this time has already been passed. So I need to change to 21 to make execute to show you the effect. So expect something out of after 30 seconds, that it should work after 30 seconds. So I can explain that this is the specific date. Sorry, this is a specific minute you can mention. If you want to execute this on all the minutes, then you can add star. So here I want every day at 23:21 to execute this command. you can see that it's automatically rebooted. I have not done anything. So whenever let it reboot. So whenever system is up and running and it sees some entries in cron tab, that cron tab will execute based on your future requirement, whatever the time you have set there. Okay, so this is called cron tab. I'm deleting the entry 7 and exiting so that I don't want to get unwanted exit. Sorry, unwanted reboot actually. So for now, this is it. I think I can say. Mm, okay, I can give some of the commands now itself to execute, but I will explain the background of those commands later, not now. So for installing any software in this CentOS, you are required to run yum install http. Let's say if I wanted to install httpd, this is the way you should run. Oh, I don't have IP itself. So for installing a software, I can run this command yum install and then the software name, whatever I wanted to install. It's going to update its metadata and database, and after updating, it's going to list me whether that software is available or not, and along with that software, what other software it has to install so that this HTTPD can work. So that is what information. And finally, it's asking whether I want to install that or not. I need to press yeah, Y and then enter so that it can download. It has downloaded. Now it's before installing, it's asking for some information. I've given yes for that information. I will tell you what is this information. This is one time only. For the first time, whenever you are running anything, any installation of the package, this is going to come for the first time. It's not going to come for the next time. So what it is, I will explain. So this is the package downloaded. This is package installed and done. That's it. So if you want any software to install and additional information, you can see that here extension is .rpm, 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 .rpm. So one person was saying he was having macOS. You will be able to see that .dmg, and maybe I'm using yum. You might be using something else. But yes, after installation of CentOS, you have to use yum only inside that virtual machine or virtual box. So yum install is for installation, search is for searching, a software name, let's say wget. How to get software names, that you will get to know after working. After working with the Linux, like whatever software name I'm mentioning, what is it for, what is the use of it, and for your need, what softwares you need actually for your requirements. So all those things you need to know when you start working on that. Sorry, you will get to know when you start working on that. So these are all the softwares. So yum search, you can search whether the software exists in the repository or not, and if it exists, you can install it. Yum install wget. It will again ask you to install Y, and then it will download and install. Done. That's it. This is one way of installing a software. Another way of installing a software, whatever the RPM package it's downloading, you can download the same package from internet and you can install that package by using rpm space hyphen ivh command. You can give that package name and you can install. But this package you are required to download when you are using this command. RPM, whenever you are using RPM command to install a package, that package has to be available locally into the system. RPM is not going to download from the repository. This is the difference in between RPM and yum command. RPM will also install the package, but RPM will install the package only which are all locally available into this system. If that package is not available, that will not be get installed using RPM. And if you do yum and then something yum install, it's going to download that particular package from repository on its own and install it on its own. So yum install we have seen, yum search we have seen now, yum remove and httpd we have installed. So yum remove httpd. So it's going to remove the httpd package from the system. You guys are able to listen to me.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So how far you have heard all of it? Like yum search, yum install, yum remove. Mm, yes, tell me, please. Yum install is done. Yum search I have explained whether you guys are able to get it or not. And
Yes, yes,
after
yes,
that
yes,
yum.
sir. Yes, sir.
So
M search, M remove, remove also gets.
okay, and RPM.
Yes,
Okay, RPM also done. Okay, then fine. So
yes.
okay, fine. So you were able to get all of the commands, so no issues. So yeah, I was
Okay.
telling that after this, maybe next session. Let me pause the recording here first. For today's class, I think we are done.